What is happening there, J Gamer Dude here, and Embracer Group is really not a good name in the gaming space, especially what's been happening with buying studios, letting go of people, jobs being thrown up in the air, and so many people also losing their jobs, especially during the past year and a bit, thinking that the code bubble was going to keep again blowing up and up and up until eventually it was going to pop and absolutely nothing is left. It's now imploding from the inside, or maybe it's reproducing by budding. I don't know what's going on here, but effectively Embracer Group is now exploding into 3 different companies altogether, and maybe that's to get rid of the stigma attached to being a part of Embracer at all. I'm not too sure, so let's just kind of go through and see what companies we're going to be dogpiling instead of Embracer. And the names hurt me on the inside to say, so I'm going to try and keep it short, simple, and to the point. So first and foremost, I have this Game Informer article by Wesley LeBlanc, so we're just going to move on from there. So the first and foremost, we have Middle-earth Enterprises and Friends. Now, the problem with this group is that it consists of Crystal Dynamics, which made the Tomb Raider games, and what was that? The Avengers game, yeah? Dambuster Studios, I forgot what they made. Eidos Montreal, Flying Wild Hog, Tripwire, Vertigo, Warhorse, Foray, and there's some more. Now, worth keeping in mind that the name doesn't really make any sense because it feels like the the Middle-earth Enterprises part of the whole name of the company is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because, for example, they have Tripwire Studios in there that make Killing Floor and stuff like that. So in addition to other IPs for example, Dead Island, where we recently did get Dead Island 2, I think it was last year or the year before, I can't remember. Killing Floor, Kingdom Come Deliverance, where Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been announced. Lord of the Rings, obviously, I mean that's quite literally the part that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Metro and Tomb Raider. In fact, you know what? Maybe the And Friends is doing far more than the Middle-earth part, because there's so many more franchises than Lord of the Rings on here, and on top of that, it doesn't help matters that many of these franchises are actually quite good, like Killing Floor, like Dead Island. Even if you don't like zombies, Dead Island is still a fairly good game franchise, especially 2, I think is probably the best of the lot. Then you've got the Metro games, which are also really good. And depending on who you ask, Tomb Raider, yeah or nah, again, really depends. So I suppose it's really the And Friends part that is doing the heavy lifting, given that there's so much more underneath it, and the name just seems kind of arbitrary almost. But then this goes back to the quote that Embracer CEO Lars Wingforce once said, that they need to take advantage of or abuse the Lord of the Rings franchise? Something along those lines. I can't remember the exact quote, but it did run within that sort of ballpark. It's like the word to take advantage of, but I can't think of it off the top of my head because I didn't actually write a script for this or any keynotes or anything. But yeah, it's just coming to me as I talk about it. But yeah, next we have is Coffee Stain and Friends. Now, people who know Coffee Stain Studios will know all about Goat Simulator and Goat Simulator 3. And you might be wondering, Goat Simulator 2, anyone? There wasn't one. There was not a Goat Simulator 2. So just putting that out there for people who are wondering. So this is supposed to be the premium operations, where these are the companies that make games, that make tons of money, that also make surprisingly high quality games. We have Coffee Stain, of course Goat Simulator, Ghost Ship, Tarsier, Tuxedo Labs, THQ Nordic, and Amplify Game Invest. So the IPs under this lot are Deep Rock Galactic, Goat Simulator, Satisfactory, Wreckfest, Teardown, Valheim, which makes sense, and more than 200 other games that are under that umbrella. So obviously they are, as far as the 3 groups of companies, or the 3 companies are going, this company in specifically is the money maker of the lot. And of course it does have a lot of free-to-play games like Crazy Labs, Easy Brain, which I've never heard of, and some stuff like Sudoku.com, Block Doku, Jigsaw Puzzle, Star Trek Online. Oh, Star Trek Online. Okay. D&D Neverwinter Online. Okay, so yeah, so Star Trek Online, free-to-play Star Trek title. That's kind of like an MMO. Same with Neverwinter. Though I never called it D&D Neverwinter. Just called it Neverwinter. And finally, we have Asmodee, which is the board game company, effectively, because they were bought out by Embracer back in 2022, I think. So Asmodee does the board games and stuff. So in total, we've got 3 companies that effectively have split apart to create their own thing. Asmodee goes back to being Asmodee as it was in 2022, and we now have Coffee Stain and Friends, where they're doing the heavy lifting in terms of the money that's being earned across the 3 companies. And then we have Middle Earth? Crap, I keep forgetting it. Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends, which again is there, I suppose. That feels like the and other group. But with that being said, you would think that, okay, well, rather than having one single company, you've got 3 separate companies. What gives now? Like, where does Lars fall now? Because he was the CEO of Embracer. So as it turns out, the leadership will remain the same across all 3 companies. So at the end of the day, nothing has changed. And I think it might just be because he's trying to save face and not have some sort of negative backlash or anything to anything that he says or does, or really it removes the Embracer name, which is kind of seen as a liability, something that people can easily look at and joke about and be like, well, at least if I run a company, I can't run it as bad as an Embracer group or something like that. So yeah, I thought that this was kind of an interesting topic to talk about, because it definitely feels like they're trying to save face, but who knows? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.